Hello and welcome to the final race of round 2 of the BTCC Legend Series, brought to you in association with BTCC Blueprints and Paul Welsh Groundwork and Construction. Let's take a look at the race 3 grid. We've got Leon from Jeff, Andrew, then Adam, Lewis, Chris, Ash, Rob, and then the other Rob, Liam, Dean, Sean, Ben, and race 2 and race 1 winner Jake at the rear of the field. What can he do from there? Maybe take another race victory, who knows. As we go to the grid, and the lights are on, and we wait, and they are off, and we go. And Leon making a good start there. Looks like, Lewis and Adam making decent starts as well. Completely out of position after some poor races, as Jeff has got a huge jump off the line and is well off into the lead of this race. Is he going to try and do a Jake Hill and scamper away as Leon fights away in second nice and early, as Andrew, his teammate, is fighting away with Chris and I believe Lewis is that. Yes, as Adam's already got himself up into third and chasing down the leaders nice and early. Lewis just not settled at all at this track, it seems, and really struggling this week, oddly for him, as Rob and Rob go head to head, and you've got the two brothers and Jake already making a move at the rear of the field, making it 3 wide, and that's Sean making it 4 wide as well by the looks of it. So it's the two Nissans together and the two brothers together. As we go back up to the front, and Leon's caught Jeff now, and he's going to go round the outside. Is he? Possibly not quite. Slight touch, and that's put him wide and into the barrier, unfortunately, at the beginning of the bridge. And Adam goes, "Thank you very much. I'll take hold of that. I'll take the lead," and leaves Jeff standing that little bit over the bridge. So we've got Adam, who should have been up in contention for second place in race 2, out in the lead. And Rob's now that little bit wider, a little bit of contact with Ben, that's put him into the Armco, and one of the Hondas there, I think that was Ash, with a little bit of contact as well on the same piece of barrier sticking out, unfortunately. Completely wrecking their races unless some havoc happens behind. And let's face it, it's BTCC, it will happen behind. As we see the rear of the pack, and Ben and Jake both making decent progress already up through the field as we come over the line for the end of lap 1. Adam leading from Jeff, and that's Chris there in third place now. It's a decent start there for Chris. Andrew in fourth, I believe, is it? Sorry, Leon fourth in the Rockstar Mitsubishi. As we look at the rear of the field again, and that's Dean and Jake fighting away. The camera's not knowing exactly where to look. There's so much action going on. Andrew a little bit sideways after contact with Rob. That's allowed Lewis a bit of a chance up the inside. Yes, he's already got it. Andrew going to try and take the main line. That's allowing Rob and Liam a chance. Liam's taking it, certainly, and now Jake's going to have a go up the inside as well, is he, of Andrew. A few bad corners there. It just shows the momentum can really get sucked away from you around this circuit, as Jake now goes in front, and that's Dean now in front, alongside Andrew, fighting hard, trying to keep his position as Sean darts either which way, as Jake just touching the barriers once, twice, unfortunately, just on the outside line. Just shows how treacherous it can also be. Some of these fast corners with the Armco right on the edge of the track, and a slight touch, and that's him further down the field, unfortunately, after a great run. Sean there flicking out, touching the Armco as well, as Jeff's now caught Adam. Jeff is not going to just roll over and have his belly tickled here. He's still fighting. He can sniff his first BTCC victory, let alone his first BTCC podium. As we go back, and we see battling for third place, Chris and Lewis. Chris spending a penalty there. That's going to allow Lewis to just jump up ahead of him slightly, but Chris is going to have a slightly better run out the corner. Rob's tucking in behind, and he's going to go up the inside just about of Chris here into the final corner, trying to follow Lewis's example. And he does take 4th position away, but Chris seems like he's got a slightly better run out the corner, does he? It's anyone's guess behind as Jake's recovering well. And now up alongside Dean. Although he's lost a little bit of momentum there, and that's Andrew having another go back. As Sean tries to gallop away a little bit from these and get a slightly better result for himself in the Nissan. Dean now ahead of Jake, but Jake's up the inside. Andrew trying to follow through, and Leon just following everyone else there. Trying to pick out the line, trying to pick up the pieces from any fallout. And he goes up onto the rear bumper of his teammate. A little bit of a nudge maybe to try and make something happen ahead of him. As we go back to the battle for 3rd place, and Rob's that little bit wide there. That's going to allow Chris a run up the inside. Lewis touches the Armco barrier. Sparks flying in this slightly darker light. That's Lewis now in 3rd. Chris up the inside in 4th. Then Rob, and now Liam, who started to climb his way back. Will he be able to grab 3rd, maybe even more in this race? As we go over the bridge once more, over the lake. Chris, you can see, fighting away hard with Lewis. Rob there. Chris spending more penalty. How much time has he racked up in penalties already, unfortunately? Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, and Sean soon to join by the looks of it. All in a battle for 3rd place. As now Chris spends more penalty. That allows Lewis to make sure he has the line. Let's put Rob up the outside now. And if he can't get the move done on Chris, that's certainly going to open the door for Liam. As they come round the final corner. And sure enough, Lewis is there. Liam's slight bit of contact there with Rob that sent him very, very wide. And allowed the 2 Nissan Primera lookalikes of both Jake and Sean up the inside and ahead of him. And now joining this battle for 3rd place. Yet again, we have Lewis from Chris, from Liam, from Dean, from Sean, from Jake. 2 wheels out on the grass there, and some sparks flying from the side of the car yet again there from Jake, pushing the absolute boundaries and limits of the car as much as he can. Sparks flying as it bottoms out there, looking either which way on his teammate. Any team orders here at the Primera lookalike team. Possibly as Jake looks left, looks right. Sean spends a penalty, and oh my word, Liam's made a massive hash of that going in there by the looks of it. That certainly allowed the two Primera lookalikes to go up the inside, and Rob's now joined the battle yet again. But Sean's still ahead of Jake at the moment. Rob's going to try his luck down the outside this time of Sean. Sorry, I've got the 2 Nissans the wrong way round, I believe. No, it is Sean ahead of Jake. So that's now Rob up the inside of Jake, trying his luck as best he can. Jake saying, I'm not that easy to pass, son. Up the inside, and now back onto the rear bumper of his teammate across the bridge as Lewis spends his penalty on the straight rather than waiting for the corners like most of them. Has spent the penalty across the bridge on the straight and has dropped about 6 places there, back behind Dean. And that is now going to allow Jake to attack Chris. And is that Ben there as well? Yeah, Ben fighting away with Chris now, and Sean and Jake and Rob and Liam. And unfortunately Lewis losing complete contact with this battle here for 3rd place, sorry. As Ben goes down the inside of both Chris and Sean. Chris unghosting there from his penalty just at the wrong time, just giving Jake that little bit of a nudge and a push wide. Doesn't affect the BTCC driver as he goes round the outside there of Chris, round the outside, slight bump as he tries to get the apex from Rob. He says, no worries, I'll take the outside line, and goes down the outside yet again, past Chris, past Rob, and they're spreading right away across the track behind, everyone trying to fight for position. It seems to be that it's Adam out in front, Jeff in second. We've almost forgotten about these 2, and everyone else for 2nd place. Let's see who will come out on top. Everyone fighting away. Liam there now up the inside there of Dean on the rear bumper, sideways over the curb as Lewis gets back ahead of Liam. Liam's just gone backwards here, unfortunately. That sideways motion really costing him as his teammate runs wide. smacking the Armco with the side of the car. Unfortunately there for Rob, losing a bit of momentum there. Now the two Nissan Primera lookalikes seem to be almost switching position maybe, or are they actually still fighting? It's so hard to tell. But now Jake's up the inside of Sean and is going to set his sights on Ben for that third place. Sean now going to act as rear gunner maybe towards Chris and keep the place nice and warm for Jake. As we go back to the front and see the two guys who have almost forgotten about this race, unfortunately, pulling away nicely as Rob now gets ahead of the two Rockstar cars, fighting amongst themselves. You've got Rob there from Adam, from Leon, all fighting away amongst each other, fighting right the way through the grid. We've just seen how quickly things can turn, how quickly the pack can get bunched up. Rob rubbing the side of that Mitsubishi yet again, coming out the final corner, and that's going to allow the Rockstar guys a real good chance to go up the inside. Leon almost pushing Adam up the inside of Rob there, and he takes a position away. But Rob certainly hasn't given up on this. Back in the slipstream of the Rockstar Subaru, and Leon's just decided to sit back that little bit and have a extra look. He's got a fantastic run through here. Rob's up the inside of Andrew, decides better against it, and he's going to wait for the heavier braking zone. Down the inside is he, straight away up down the inside, and Leon's gone into the middle lane and up the inside as well of Andrew. That's one position for him. It looked like he was going for a second there, as we see Adam and Jeff still close enough together. Jeff has not given up one little bit in this fight. He can sniff a victory. He can certainly sniff victory in this race, as the fight for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th continues to rage on. Looks like we've got Jake ahead of Ben now for 3rd place as Jake runs out a little bit wide. Sean up in 5th place, under pressure from Rob. Chris and Lewis battling behind, and then Dean just sitting and watching. We go over the line again. Jeff really close to Adam this time, thinking about having a look up the inside, thinks better of it, eases back that little bit, slightly different line for him. Round turn 1, that's just lost in that little bit of time, unfortunately, in the fight. As we go back to Adam's teammate and Lewis, who's trying to go up the inside there of Chris, and he's tagged Rob, sent Rob sideways, eased off the throttle, thought better of it than getting the 5-second penalty from the stewards. As we see, I think that was Dean running very, very wide onto the grass there and losing ground. Sorry, it couldn't have been Dean. There's Dean right in the middle of the pack. I don't know who that was out wide, losing a lot of ground to this pack. As now Chris is going to take up the reins of the chase and the leader of this pack, as Dean continues to fight away there with Rob, a little bit sideways off of the contact from the Armco as well. Rob is, as he tries to go round the outside, falls back. Can he get the switch back across the bridge? Again, slight contact between the two. Lewis there fighting and watching, decides to take the inside line and then get the slipstream of the quicker Nissan, and then back towards the inside line. He can't decide which one he's going to take. Rob is certainly in front of Dean now, and now Lewis is going to go slightly wide, as we see Ben now fighting Sean here for 4th position. And Jake's just scampered off into 3rd place. Can he close the gap down to the two leaders? He has not got a lot of time to do it. 3 or 4 corners maybe, as Ben looks to the inside of Sean, but he can't do it. Sean has got the jump. We jump towards the leaders as they come up to the checkered flag, and that will be a win finally for Adam, who's been fantastic all round. A win there for Adam, a fantastic 2nd for Jeff, brilliant driving, 3rd for Jake, and then again it's a huge train in anyone's guess for the remaining spots in this race. We are going to have to look at the timing sheets at the end of this race to actually pick out who came where. And right on cue, here it is. We've got Adam from Jeff, from Jake, and then it was Ben from Chris, from Rob Adams, and then Dean in 7th place. 8th was Ash, 9th Chris, 10th was Lewis, Adam, Andrew, and Rob, and then Leon there, bringing up the end of the field. seem to have the wrong graphic there for Rob, unfortunately. So the championship table, we had Jake from Ben, then massive jump up the league table there for Adam into 3rd place. Unfortunately, Nathan, who couldn't make the round, in 9th, and the rest of the guys slightly behind. We hope you enjoyed that manic round, and we hope you'll join us for round 3 next week very soon.